The following podcast is for mature listeners. Although looked at in a light-hearted manner, some content may be graphic and gruesome. Also, due to the host's complete lack of maturity, those easily offended will probably be offended. Hold on to your butts.
Yeah, when this comes out, it's going to be the new year.
Oh, yeah, it'll be 2019. Well,
2019, baby. Do you have a resolution?
Yeah. To not die. So
That's a good one.
I think it's a very vague, but yet very strong resolution for the new year.
I put a lot of thought into mine, and I think I'm going to stick with it.
What do you got?
I want to distance myself from like fucking redheaded people. Like, so I have this problem where I'll sneak off into a room by myself with my laptop and just crunch on some fucking Carrot Top for hours, and it's just really, I feel like it's bringing my life down.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like a lot of Carrot Top, like old Ronald McDonald commercials. I just feel like all these redheads are. It's not good, man.
How dare you? Good. How dare you shun us as a race?
No, I'm just fucking. I love the red.
I love the red.
I love all the red. All right, Jake,
Paul.
We had. I want to give a shout out to one of our listeners who sent us an email. Emily, if you're listening, you're the shit. And she requested that we do some supernatural, like alien shit. Right?
Okay, I can get down with that.
So I had this one on the back burner. I wanted to do this one for a while, and I figured, what better time than now?
Exactly.
We're going to kick off the new year with some spooky UFO alien nonsense.
Oh, man.
Maybe nonsense. I don't know.
Probes
You be the
aplenty.
Judge. Yep. Right in the anals.
Right in the anals.
The anals of time. The date, Jake, is November 5th, 1975. Travis Walton and 6 other men, Mike Rogers, Alan Dalis, John Goulet.
John what? John Goulet.
John Goulet.
Oh, Gillette. Like the razor. John Gillette.
Yeah, kind of, with an O in there.
Okay, silent.
Ken Peterson, Steve Pierce, and Dwayne Smith. None of these names really matter, except for
The Rock-
Travis Walton.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson was here.
Okay.
Do you know the name Travis Walton? Does it ring a bell?
I feel like this is the premise to the song by Deep Purple, "Smoke on the Water." No, I don't know.
No. Okay, so Travis Walton actually, because of the events we're about to talk about, had a book written about him.
Okay.
And that book was transformed into a major motion picture called Fire in the Sky.
Yes.
Did you see this?
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about because this guy gets abducted, and during the scene where he's abducted, they're playing "Smoke on the Water" by Deep Purple.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
I knew it was in my mind for a reason.
All right, here we go. So, these guys all spent the day working on a tree trimming job in the woods of Turkey Springs, Arizona.
Turkey Springs.
Sometime just after 6 p.m., before sunset, Travis and his coworkers loaded up their truck and headed home out of the woods. On the ride back, something caught Travis's attention. There was, off in the distance, some sort of weird yellow glow that the men couldn't make out at first glance.
Okay.
They believed, from where they were, it looked like a fire, like a forest fire, or a possible plane crash. So they decided to drive directly towards the strange light and see if there's anything they could do to help.
Okay, it seems like being the good Samaritans that they pose themselves to be.
Yeah, man, these fucking good, upstanding fucking lumberjacks.
Jets.
Yes. So as they got closer, they realized it was not a fire and it was not a plane. Travis described
it's a trap.
It's a trap. Travis described it as the most awesome, incredible sight we had ever seen in our entire lives. It was a flying saucer.
Okay.
Yeah, a flying saucer. which was flying stationary about 20 feet off the ground. They said that it was about 15 to 20 feet in diameter. And the men described it as being the shape of 2 pie pans, lip to lip,
Tip
with a
to
small
tip.
bowl flipped on top of it. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, so you're essentially taking the 2 pie pans, putting them together, or like with all the way around, and then you said what else was on top of it?
Like a small bowl. Basically, they're describing every
traditional description of what a saucer looks like.
Exactly. Yes. Correct. So Travis, who was apparently a curious man, decided that he needed a closer look at the UFO. So he walked directly under it and looked straight up towards it. As he examined the craft in apparent awe, the craft began to shake and wobble, emitting very strange noises.
It was yeah.
Yeah.
It was Little John. It was Little John and the East Side Boys.
Yep. From the window to the wall. Travis ducked into a crouch to take cover and was hit by a bright blue-green ray of light.
It was a Hadouken.
You know what it's like to get hit by the bright blue-green ray of light, Jake?
I do. I've been there a time or two.
Well, the light rendered Travis completely paralyzed.
Immobile.
He dropped to the ground limp and motionless.
Nobody likes that.
No, it's not a good look when you're under a flying saucer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You don't want to be.
Never.
He had the whiskey body.
Ooh.
Some of the others have said that they thought for sure Travis was dead. They thought that the light killed him. So they all hopped back in the truck and hightailed it out of there, leaving Travis's lifeless body behind under the UFO. So really good friends. I mean, this is like a solid squad.
Thing I said a couple minutes ago. These guys are assholes.
They bounced.
Yeah.
They bounced. You know, Travis was probably the one guy at work that they all fucking couldn't stand.
Yeah.
You know, they tried to take their lunch after he already took his, so they don't have to fucking sit with him. Anyway, Travis was gone, right?
Okay.
So, the next 5 days, panic and hysteria broke out in the men's hometown of Snowflake, Arizona. So they work in Turkey. What did I say? Turkey Hills,
Turkey
Falls?
Springs. Don't get
Springs.
confused with the delicious ice cream company.
Turkey Springs, but they live in Snowflake, Arizona.
Very weird names for a very dry, temperate state.
Yeah, really.
Snowflake.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
People began to accuse the other team members of murdering Travis.
I mean, it makes sense.
Well, so here's what happened. They all go off into the woods with their fucking saws and their chainsaws and their spikes and all their pointy equipment.
They're billy clubs.
They come out of the woods, minus one member, and when asked about it, they say, UFO got him. So, yeah, people were a little suspicious of the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the mid 70s, yeah, it definitely does sound shady.
Oh yeah, you knew some shit was going down back then. Even worse, there was no body to be found. No one could find Travis's body.
Not a good
It had
look.
disappeared.
Yeah.
The men were even polygraphed during the investigation. And Jake, I have the polygraph records, courtesy of the Arizona Department of Public Safety.
Whoa!
Would you like to hear how the polygraph turned out?
Hell yeah, I do.
So these were the questions that all the men were asked.
Okay.
4 questions. Number 1, did you cause Travis Walton any serious injury last Wednesday afternoon? Number 2, do you know if Travis Walton was physically injured by some other member of your work crew last Wednesday? Number 3, do you know if Travis Walton's body is buried or hidden somewhere in the Turkey Springs area? And number 4, did you tell the truth about actually seeing a UFO last Wednesday when Travis Walton disappeared? Okay. So, all 6 men, everyone on the team, answered no to questions 1, 2, and 3. So they all said that they didn't cause any harm to Travis. They didn't know if he was caused harm by any of the other workers, and that his body was not buried. Right? They all of them said the same thing. All 6 also answered yes to question number 4, that they did tell the truth about seeing a UFO. all tests other than Dayless's, so one guy, his tests were inconclusive, which doesn't mean he was lying. It just means that they couldn't get an
accurate reading.
Everyone else's results were conclusive, that they were telling the truth. Based on the polygraph chart tracing, it is the opinion of the examiner that Goulet, Smith, Peterson, Rogers, and Pierce were all being truthful when they asked these relevant questions. Yeah, Goulet.
Oh, Goulet.
Oh, did I add a little French on it? I don't know how it's pronounced. It could be Goulet, it could be Goulet. Let's see. Okay, so the report continues on. These polygraph examinations prove that these 5 men did see some object that they believe was a UFO, and that Travis Walton was not injured or murdered by any of these men last Wednesday, 11/5/1975. If an actual UFO did not exist, and a UFO is a man-made hoax, 5 of these men had no prior knowledge of the hoax. No such determination can be made of the 6th man, whose tests were inconclusive. So, all these people thought that they saw a UFO. So whether this happened, whether it didn't happen, everybody that was in those fucking woods thinks they saw a UFO, except for,
well, the one guy was inconclusive.
The one guy.
Well, yeah, and the thing about it is if it was like one guy, maybe 2 guys, you can get away with it and be like, oh, like this is BS, like, because it very much reminds you of the Seinfeld sketch where it's like, it's not a lie if you believe it, but like,
right,
it's 6 guys that are all like, you're getting the same answer, well, except for the one jackass who was inconclusive, but like these 5 other guys are like, you're getting the same answer, and they're all like the same answer across the board, and they're all telling the truth. So it's like there really could be evidence of a saucer out there.
Well, and also, like, what would be the benefit of pulling a hoax like this?
Yeah.
Now, there will be a benefit for Travis Walton in the end, but there would be no benefit for these other guys to fucking corroborate this story or help him pull his weird hoax.
Unless they were really trying to cover up the fact that they murdered him, but
right,
they didn't.
But yeah, there's no way all 6 guys passed those first 3 questions if they didn't actually murder him.
Exactly.
Also, this wouldn't have happened if they had murdered him. 5 days after all this shit happened, the phone rings at Travis's brother's house. It was Travis.
Whoa!
He was calling from a phone booth 15 miles away. 15 miles away from the work site where he had been abducted. When they found him, he had lost 12 pounds in the 5 days and was completely unable to explain where he had been.
He was in a space-age sex romp in the sky.
Yeah. So I should say he was naked. So he was naked. He had lost 12 pounds.
Naked.
And he had he couldn't communicate. He was like, all his senses were fucking out of whack.
Like mumbling, like pretty much incoherent type, like, there's a word for it. But yeah, he was just like, he was just,
incoherent.
There it is, incoherent. I used it. He was just going nuts.
Okay, so eventually, through hypnosis and therapy, he was finally able to recount this extraterrestrial adventure. Okay?
Was he naked still?
The therapy helped. They were able to get some clothes back on him.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, so Travis claims he woke up laying on his back. He was on a table looking up at a rectangular light fixture.
Okay.
He says that he was still in all of his work clothes, although he noticed his shirt and jacket had been pushed upward towards his shoulders, exposing his chest and abdomen. He remembers thinking his friends had taken him to a hospital until he was able to focus and realize there were strange, blurry figures surrounding him, and they were not human-shaped. At first, he thought they were doctors. They were all wearing surgical masks and orange gowns. But he quickly realized, to his horror, that the doctors had huge brown eyes the size of quarters, and that their bodies seemed like thin bone. Okay, he said it was like thin bones covered in marshmallowy flesh. That's how he described these.
I feel personally attacked by
doctors.
that statement.
Well, you don't have thin bones.
But I have a marshmallowy substance for skin.
Yeah. Which could be, in an emergency,
Emergency flotation device.
Well, I was going to say,
You gotta eat yourself.
you'd be the first.
I'd be
if
the
this
first
were in a
to-
live situation, you'd be the first one eaten.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so he said that the strange creatures had no fingernails. Their hands were like small. Their hands were small and delicate, and they were completely hairless. Their heads were disproportionately large for their bodies, and they had underdeveloped features on their faces. Basically, again, Travis is describing the stereotypical alien.
Or is he describing a Muppet by Jim Henson?
Ooh, could this be a Muppet situation?
This could be a Muppet. This is Muppets in space situation we got going on here, buddy.
Could he have gotten himself wrapped up in some kind of puppetry scheme?
Some sort of weird puppet sex romp.
Travis says that he was able to get off the table and lunge at the aliens, scaring them off and leaving him alone in the room. So
You go on get now. Go on get. Get out of here.
Yeah. He claims that he was able to poke around the ship a bit before running into what appeared to be a human man. This human man took him to a room that contained two other human-looking beings, this time a man and a woman. The woman placed a device over his face, and he faded away. The next thing he remembers, he woke up on the pavement in Herbert, Arizona. He claims that as soon as he woke up, he saw the light disappearing into the sky. To this day.
Questions. There's so many.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So, all right. So he scares away these, what he describes as like, the prototypical alien description.
Yeah, get out of here.
Go on, get now. And then he finds another, human, or what he is led to believe is a human.
Right.
And
looks like a human.
He is then led to a
space slave.
Space slave. Yeah, I want to know what this guy's wearing. Is he naked, or is he wearing some sort of slave-like garb?
I don't know. I didn't get that information.
If he refers,
and it's funny because
if he refers to like all the other aliens as like, oh yes, daddy, I'll do that. Like that, yeah, obviously some sort of sex slave thing. But,
right? Yeah, they're really pounding this guy.
He's the bottom bitch.
Yeah. The aliens love it. I don't know, and I don't remember the movie enough to know how the movie portrays it. Although I'm sure the movie, I do remember there was a scene in the movie where he was like in a pod in like this gigantic fucking room where all these other humans were in pods along the walls. But I couldn't find that in his description of what happened. So I don't know if that was just a little added movie magic.
Yeah, so like what's the purpose of the woman? So the woman places like a Metroid helmet on top of his head, and then he passes like a gas mask, and like he passes out, and then the next thing he knows, he's waking up. Like, then you gotta ask him, like, hey man, like how, like, do you have any markings on your body? Like, do you have any bruises? Do you have any cuts? Like, how does your ass feel? Like,
right. And here's the other, so I assume if these are humans, right? And maybe they do work for these aliens. Maybe they've accepted
humanoids.
Maybe they've accepted their position as the space slaves.
Yeah.
But number one, they have a device that can get them off the ship, right? So,
yeah.
Do they like doing it? Number two, so I assume this is some sort of underground railroad situation where they help the humans who have been abducted escape the ship and get back to Earth.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe they're really
humans. Yeah, I get it.
Buying into it. But when he described the ship, he said it was 12 to 15 feet. I mean, a ship that size, you'd think these people would be caught by now if they're fucking snooping around, helping people escape. Unless it was like a TARDIS situation where once you're in the ship, it's fucking gigantic.
That's
what I mean?
That's what I was thinking. Like it
just
looks small from the outside, and the inside, it's like a whole world of this giant space station, as opposed to just a small 12 by 15. But,
all right, I think we're going to need to get in touch with NASA because I think we're cracking a lot of
because the
history's
the people that were on the ship there, it could have been like those people that are like they come from like a battered home, or like they didn't have a life worth living on Earth. So they're like,
they enjoy their spaceship
I will accept
travels.
my new role in this as someone that they test on and do surgeries to and do weird butt stuff with.
Yeah, I'm kind of into it.
Yeah, like I'm okay with this because at home I was addicted to heroin and my boyfriend beat me up or something like that. You know what I mean?
You think the girl had like rainbow spiral hair, like the girl from Space Cases?
Yes.
And then the boy had the gigantic. Do you remember Space Cases?
Yes.
Okay.
It's such a throwback.
It's a very obscure throwback too.
I wonder if they had a character on there that looked like the rat from Beekman's World.
Yeah, the kid with the giant ears, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so to this day, none of the men present that day have come forth with any story other than what they originally gave. So every single one of these motherfuckers is sticking to their fucking guns.
They're going down with the ship on this story, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so in 2008, the Fox television network, they came out with a game show, right? This game show, tell me if you remember this. It was called The Moment of Truth.
Yes.
So,
I do.
The premise of this show was the contestants come on. The host had a series of true or false questions that they had to answer while hooked up to a lie detector. And as it went on, the questions got more and more personal, more and more embarrassing. And if you answered them truthfully, you would win more money.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, like, I think towards the end, some of these questions would be like, have you ever had an affair with your wife? And the wife is like sitting on the side of the stage, just like, come on, answer correctly.
Have you ever stolen money from work?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you jerk off in the bathroom of this show?
Do you ever just suck dick because you like the taste? Like, what? No!
No, are we on Fox?
Where's
Fox or FX?
Howie Mandel's going to pop out.
Okay, so Travis Walton in 2008 appeared on Fox's Moment of Truth game show.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's true.
It's damn true.
So you can look this up on YouTube. There's video footage of this episode on YouTube, on the YouTube. But basically, on the show, question number 15, right, for a chance to win $100,000 for Travis Walton. The question was, were you abducted by a UFO on November 5th, 1975?
Why would they do that? And
Why wouldn't they do that?
But no, I'm saying, like, since it's already kind of like there's a lot of skepticism surrounding it and stuff like, I feel like that's something that they shouldn't touch. You know what I mean? I feel like a question like that falls along the same lines of, were you molested as a child? Like, it's something that you don't want to think about. And it's
you feel like Fox, like Moment of Truth, should have stayed away from this question?
Yeah, they should have backed off from that.
This is the only reason his ass was on the show, Jake.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's a good point. Well, I'm sure, I know for... like,
you think his crusty, mustachioed ass would be on fucking
he's got a mustache?
Yeah, network television, if he didn't have some fucking alien secrets to answer?
Yo, I bet you he said, yeah, he was, and he was like, here's $100,000 for you.
So, Travis Walton answers, true, right?
Yeah.
I was abducted by a UFO on November 5th, 1975. And the show's tests determined conclusively that Travis Walton was being deceptive.
What?
Yeah. When asked if he had anything to say after the show was wrapping up, Travis simply reminded the crowd, lie detectors are only 97% accurate, not 100.
Oh, man, don't go that route.
He did still walk away with $25,000. He also had a major motion picture and book based on his story. Both were titled Fire in the Sky, as well as a self-made documentary. And he makes frequent appearances at UFO and extraterrestrial conventions. So, if it was a hoax, it paid off for one guy, not for the other 6 that cooperated the story. But Travis Walton has fucking made bank off this story.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
And this is just me. This is my personal opinion. Nobody else, can agree with me. They don't have to. I feel like if I were abducted and saw some shit that I probably was not supposed to see in my lifetime, I'm not going on a syndicated TV network to talk about it for money. And I'm not frequenting these fucking, like, Comic-Cons and stuff like that. and science sci-fi conventions to talk about it. I feel like that's something that like I'd be afraid to talk about because I would compromise a situation. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like that's what kind of raises eyebrows about this whole thing is if you actually experience this, and for the most part, people that do claim to have experienced this are fucking traumatized by it.
Yeah.
And they don't want to talk about it or go to conventions and sign fucking autographs or have a big fucking movie or book made about it. They just want to, like, not get abducted again. Because most people who have been abducted claim they've been abducted multiple times. They claim it's like
I'm taking that shit to the grave.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing. If I'm Travis Walton, right?
Yeah.
That $100,000 would have been fucking mine because I would have just been like, listen, here's the deal. When he asks this question, right?
Yeah.
When the host says, were you abducted by a UFO on November 5th, 1975? Here's what I say, Jake. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm going to say, yes, listen, I was. Before I answer this question, though, I want to tell you that when I was up there, these people, these aliens are very advanced. And they know about our lie detector technology.
Yeah.
And one of the implants they gave me makes it so that my reactions, my little, the things that fire off, my little diodes or whatever.
The neurons that fire off.
That trigger this, the implant prevents that. So, I'm going to answer no, but it's really yes. And I'd have been like, no, I wasn't. Yeah. But I just gave you that bullshit story, so now you all have to still believe me.
Fox is in on it, knows that he was abducted, and purposely falsified the information that came out of the test to make him look like a fool, further putting a shroud of mystery around the whole scenario. But then again, he did come on and be like, oh, lie detectors aren't 100% or 97% accurate.
Yeah, he threw that out there.
Yeah, if he'd have just shut his mouth, it would have looked a little...
$100,000, though, I'd have been like...
That's a lot of cash.
Worst case scenario, I'd be like, listen, that fire in the sky money's running out, baby.
Yeah, so that shit's drying up.
I wasn't abducted. Give me that money.
Yeah, that's right. Daddy's going to Atlantic City.
Because that's what it is. You just have to answer, you have to answer truthfully to get the money. So if he had just said, like, nah, I wasn't abducted, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
He would have won the $100,000.
Yeah. Like, and then, like, was that, like, the top prize? $100,000?
Yeah.
Or did it keep going?
Well, and that's the other thing. So... if he didn't believe that he was actually fucking abducted, $100,000 is a lot of money. Are you really going to stick to your fucking guns with your bullshit story?
Yeah.
Or are you just going to, like, if he knows he was not abducted, if he knows that he made this whole thing up, he knows he's not going to get the $100,000. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe he really fucking believes.
But it's one of those things, like, if you lie to yourself long enough, you believe it's the truth.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So, listen, what do you guys think? Hit us up, email us, let us know what you think.
Yeah,
actually happened with Travis Walton, or if you have any other thoughts on this whole situation, you can hit us up at thedepthspodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter. Let them know where they can find us. Nope, Instagram, not Twitter.
Instagram.
We are on Twitter. The Depths Podcast is on Twitter under the Depthscast.
We are on
Twitter. Are on Instagram. I'm going to let Jake handle that.
I am at Jake Lotz. My man Paul is at Breeden Nuclear. We are on YouTube, Spotify, the Apple Podcast app, and if you're smart, unlike Travis Walton when it came to answering this question, just hit the subscribe button, and every other Thursday when we have a new episode, it'll pop right up and you can listen to it, and we can do the damn thing with you guys.
It'll be right there. Hand delivered to you. Hand delivered to you.
So... well, yeah, that's some good shit right there.
Yeah, man, pretty good. Short episode. We should talk about this. So we're gonna change things up in the new year.
Yes.
So right now, the way that this show works is one of us, usually me. I'll look into something and I'll just write up
98% of the time, it's Paul telling me the story, and I react like I'm a buffoon who's never heard of it before.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do instead is we think that maybe we could bring more to the table if we're both in on it. So starting next episode, we're going to find a subject. We're both going to look into it, maybe read an article, do some research, and then we're both going to come to the table with notes, and we're just going to tell the story to you guys and, drop our viewpoints in on it.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be better content. I think that it's going to be
Add a little bit more
quicker
value.
turnaround on
Yeah.
episodes. So, listen, our goal is we both have full-time jobs. Our goal is to eventually be able to bring you guys an episode once a week. But we have to kind of get a system that's conducive to that with our schedules. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we want to do. So hopefully by the end of 2019, we can be on a weekly schedule. But starting next week, it's going to be the new format, and hopefully it works out. You guys let us know what you think.
Yeah. Give us some feedback. Let us know if you guys like it or not.
Yep, I'm excited. All right, Jake, until next time.
Until next time.
Off and away. Up and away.
Into the sky. Away we go.
Beam me up.
Let's go fuck some Muppets.
Oh, shit.